3. As the room fill up, be sure to hit that like button, share the content, let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Be sure, if you're on the Facebook, smash those stars for your boy. The name of the game, you gotta play the game to be in. And so far, our beloved Cowboys, we watching the game from the sideline for your mind. Yup. We're not the only ones though, so don't let them make you feel less important. Don't let them make you feel like you ain't did anything this year. Cowboys Mike McCarthy search for OC. The free agent looks before the draft is necessary. Come on, the draft is necessary. But it's the byproduct of this team. So far, we the draft kings around here, though. You know, we draft really, really good. But it's multiple, and I mean just that, multiple situations to the solution to the game. And then right. I feel. Come on. Cool. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right. What's up? Yes, indeed, man. Shout out to all of the Aquarius, man. Thank y'all for joining in. My birthday will be this Thursday, and I got some things that I got planned for the birthday line, and I appreciate y'all so much for helping me get to this point of circling around for another 365. I'm almost close there. I appreciate you guys so much. And shout out to those whose birthday is in this month. Next month, I meant to say February, the best month of the year. Appreciate everybody. As we proceed to talk about everything, the Dallas Cowboys. Let me get right to it. Appreciate y'all, man. I got a lot of mods up in here. Like a mod show. That's good. Shout out to y'all, man. I got nothing but love to you, Michael. Appreciate you, Big Sarge. Appreciate you, Benjamin. Not Button, but Newhall. Over there on the Facebook. Shout out to you, Manny. And Jason Horn. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to you, man. Cowboy, CeeLos, what's good, fam? Appreciate you, 2136. So, and Sadiq, really appreciate you so much. I got nothing but love for all of you all. Let's get right to it. So the Cowboys got an open vacancy in multiple spots, not just offensive coordinator. And a lot of times, teams will bring someone in, right, to see whether or not they knowledgeable of what they try to do or what they like with their philosophy and scheme. And this is the evaluation process time. So Jeff Nixon is brought in for those things. Now, the NFL also have this rule called the Rooney Rule and the advancement of people of color. And I like to use the word melanated, but, for people of color. They said that basically, this was one of those things where you give a guy a chance, an opportunity to at least have the interview. Now, if he don't get the job for the OC spot, that doesn't mean that he was horrible, right? It doesn't mean that he was less than. It could be just like what we did with Joe Witt Jr., right? We brought him in for a cup of coffee. He ended up not getting the job for the DC, but then a few days later, Dan Quinn got the job, and he was rehired or what have you. Well, he was re-brought in for to be one of the guys that's on the defensive staff. I don't even know what Joe Witt Jr.'s position is. I think he's like the secondary coach or something like that. And that could be the same situation with Jeff, right? Jeff Nixon, he could be interviewing for the OC job, and then the Cowboys already have a person in mind, and then 4 or 5 days later or a month later, you hear the breaking news that he will be your new running back coach, because we do have a vacancy there. Let me know if I'm wrong. It could be literally. Breaking news out of Frisco, Texas. The Cowboys now have Jeff Nixon as their running back coach. It can literally be that, and that's just how it goes. So give him a shot. I think that he did a wonderful job with the Panthers for what he was left with. They were, 1 game out of being in the playoff, or 2 games for not being in the playoffs? Am I right on that? So it's one of those things whereas you yourself can look back at and say, all right, cool. And when I look at everything, it could be a situation and scenario, ladies and gentlemen, that let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Deontay Foreman, he is a free agent. It could be a situation with that. Or it could be this right here. More news out of Oxnard, California now. The Cowboys now trading for DJ Moore. You know what I'm saying? And he will already be familiar with Jeff Nixon. You see how this thing can go? So it could be so many variables, right, with this. And all I can tell you guys is the Cowboys just got to weather the storm. I get it. It doesn't feel right watching the Eagles, of all teams, in the Super Bowl. And if anybody talks more noise, I don't know nobody. There's not another organization and fan base that talk more noise than the Eagles fan. It's not one. I don't know one organization or franchise or fan base that talk more noise than the Eagles. And they get a pass. They flat out get a pass. They are an East Coast team, which the media hub for the NFL is based off of the East, and they're going to always revere them as, hey, they're going to get a pass. But anything that we do is going to be sullied and denigrated, right? It's just what it is. I don't know any other organization and fan base. Maybe you can lump in the Raiders, but that's the only when they're winning. And the Raiders, they've been on that slide for a long time, baby. They've been. But the Chiefs got something to say about that, and we will see what they're going to do in 2 weeks, right? Cowboy Nation. But back to the coaching vacancy situation. I know when we talk about these things and we go over line for line, precept upon precept about the teams and their organization and staff, there are always people not willing to let go. And I'm going to go over this, and then we're going to get this show on and rocking. They said on 105.3 The Fan, is Kellen Moore the most disrespected person or figure in the DFW? Now, in order for you to be disrespected, you have to be respected, right? And respect is what? Can somebody put that down in the chat? Can somebody put respect is what? I want to see if somebody knows this phrase. Respect is what? I'm going to pull up the chat because, you know what I'm saying? In order to be disrespected, you got to be respected first. And let me see all my wise people. Yes, Bruiser, earn. Eric Scott says earn. Brad Surratt says earn. So you got to earn your respect. Now, I'm not saying that Kellen Moore never earned his respect, but what I'm saying is that he never earned his respect for us to even say, hey, man, that's disrespectful. I look at it from this connotation that even when you think of it, Kellen Moore, brilliant guy, knowledgeable of the game from a smaller connotation. we had to understand that Kellen Moore had to go through growing pains. There's no shortcuts to success. So he didn't even get a chance to earn his seat at the table. You know, sometimes when you're at the barbecue, family reunion, out eating, and you see the grown folks table, they sitting down there chopping and eating, you know what I'm saying? Talking about some good stuff, maybe got some booze, talking about some other nefarious things. And have you ever seen the kid walk up to that table? And I know this could be cultural. You know, I don't know how all culture works. But I know from where I'm from, the kid walk up to the grown folks table. They stop talking. They look and say, hey, what's wrong with you? You belong over there. So what happened is somebody from the grown folks table picked up Kellen Moore and put them in their laps and said, okay, he could eat with us. He deserved to be at this table. He belongs here. And the people are like, well, we can't even have the conversation no more, man. Have you ever been that way? You're having grown folks conversation and somebody is too beta or too nice to say, hey, go over there and go talk to your mama somewhere. I mean, move from over here, you know. And it's all right, let the young man stay. And now he's hearing grown folks' conversation that he can't even relate to. Have you ever been there before, y'all? Let's be real. Let's be transparent. This show is about realness. Sometimes you can be listening into a conversation of old folks and you sitting there like, and then you chime in, you don't even understand the concept. Look, my great-granddaddy or my granddaddy had a conversation and my granddaddy was having a conversation. And I was trying to tell him, yeah, I'm grown too. And before I can get that out of my mouth, he backslapped me. You know, that's the culture that I'm coming up from. I was 9. I had no business being in his space. And he said, go over there and go talk to your mama. You know, we having a grown folks conversation. I didn't understand why he hit me until I was like 25, 26. I said, dang, I was mad at him for the wrong reasons. But it caught up with me. Oh, he was having a grown folks conversation. Swain says yes. Antonio says facts. You know, Will Nico, that's an analogy for sure. Yes, stay out of grown folks conversation. This is an adult conversation, you know. Yeah, everybody who's understanding of that. I got tagged, dog. I hated my granddaddy for a long time. Yeah, I did. You know, and my granddaddy, may he rest in peace. On my mom's side, you know, we from Mississippi, but you know, all Mississippians, they got stomping grounds in South Chicago, and he was in South Chicago, and the conversation was, here you go, true conversation. I remember just like yesterday, I was 9. I'm in my 40s now, but you know, I was 9. And the conversation was, can I literally go out the street to the store with my brother? And my brother is like 5 years older than me. 4 or 5 years older than me, my older brother. And by that age gap, they had an older cousin. Well, we had an older cousin that they was going to the store with. And I said, can I go? I'm 9 too. And before I get that out, he hit me so hard in the mouth. You know what I mean? And he said, stay out of this conversation. Because he told his nephew, well, he told my cousin that him and my other brother can go. But there were things that I couldn't even contextualize. South Chicago. Y'all know how it is. When you're too young, them bullets don't care who they hit. Them bullets don't care who they hit. Gang affiliation don't care what color, what creed you're from. There's no sympathy for the youth. Stick them up. You know what I mean? So you got to have somebody carrying heat and all of that stuff. I ain't trying to talk about South Chicago, but shout out to anybody that's from Chicago, Chi-Town, get down. But neither here nor there. I don't want to stretch the storyline out, and I'm not embellishing. That's the real true story. I could have one of my brothers to talk about it one time if they ever have time.
Who are the most disrespected personalities in the history of DFW sports, and does Kellen Moore qualify? So I'll throw to you first, Joppy. Does Kellen Moore qualify as a disrespected personality in the Metroplex? And who are some of the names that you would throw out?
I think he does qualify as a disrespected name. I think he was really good. I mean, it's really hard to put up the offensive numbers that he did and not be really, really good. So I definitely think that he was a disrespected coach. I don't think he was, I don't think it was like over the line in the disrespect. I thought he was still split. I mean, a lot of people did think he was good, but this is normal. Like people always trash the OC because they don't want to trash the quarterback or they don't want to trash the head. Like everybody's got the
man. Come on, man. They trash the quarterback as soon as you can say that quarterback is trash. They even got all type of nicknames for him. And one thing I can tell y'all for sure, people got amnesia because a lot of times people look at what Joe Burrows just did. Shout out to him for going to the Super Bowl last year. But he did throw for 2 interceptions last game, right? And he had 1 touchdown, right? And I know that that's a stage of a game that we haven't seen in many of years, the NFC or AFC, they in the AFC championship game. But what I'm seeing from people is literally, oh, man, he's just in his 3rd year. He's just in his 3rd year. So I was looking at, and, I got this thing called recall. You know what I'm saying? So I started recalling informations upon information about how people trashed our quarterback in 2016 after that playoff game. Did they give us any grievances or silences, or did they say anything? Hey, man, it was just his rookie year. He made it to the playoffs. What you expect? They was calling Dak Prescott even in 2016. And 17 happened, of course. That was his 2nd year, right? We didn't make it to the playoff that year, 9-7. One can argue that Ezekiel Elliott, if the NFL didn't have their arms all over him, right, that we were to be at least a plus win or a +2 win. Do we win at least 2 more games in 2017 if Ezekiel Elliott didn't miss 6, right? So that's clearly 11-win team, right? 11-5, give or take. But that's a story of another day. But all of a sudden, they trashed us in 16, they trashed us in 17, they trashed us in 18. We won a playoff game in 18. They didn't give us longitudes and latitudes in 18. They were saying that, hey, this dude can't throw, he just blah, blah, blah. They gave us the exact same situation of heat. And I have never seen golf. I've never seen, not even golf. We didn't even ever hear golf have those type of angry things said upon him. We didn't even hear that from any other quarterbacks during that time frame. But lo and behold, we give passes for other teams. We give grace and mercy. Right? We give grace and mercy. I would love to see what Burrows would look like his first 3 years or his first 4 years with Jason Garrett. I would love to see what's that dude, Josh Allen, his first 2, 3 years, 4 years, or what have you, under Jason Garrett. I would love to see that. But they only take pieces of it, and they will stab us all over, front and back. Don't give us a chance to grow. Don't give us the chance to go through anything. And then the craziest thing of it all, we can clearly see it. Not one word was mentioned when the good, greatness, the excellent, the person without flaws, Jason Garrett, goes to the Giants, and they didn't average over 18 points a game under his watch as the offensive coordinator. Not one word was mentioned like, hey, when he was over here in Cowboys, we were expected to go to the Super Bowl every year under that coach. So he got demoted from being basically a head coach to an offensive coordinator. All he had to do was focus in on the offensive coordinations. On top of that, a young quarterback out of Danny Jones, right? And he couldn't score or average over 17 points a game. I digress. So now when we look at this dude, Kellen Moore, points per game, in his 4 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys. 27.7, that's second in the NFL since his stay. Total yards per game, 391, second in the NFL in his 4-year watch. Yards per play, 5.8, fourth in the National Football League. Third down percentages, 44.1, fourth in the National Football League in his 4-year tender. All right, so all of y'all that's listening right now, where will this team be ranked at 2023? Will we have a top 5 offense in the National Football League? Because if we do, barring if no one get injured, what would that mean? What would that mean? And collectively, based upon the information that's perceived, the Chargers should have the number 1, number 2, number 3 offense. Now, technically, they already in tops with their offensive side of the coin. They're already in tops. But technically, where should the Cowboys remain? Because there's also data showing and showcasing that they don't show up on this cheat sheet right here. That without number 4, through the course of the games, just these last course of the games, and I know I'm not throwing any knives at Cooper Rush. I thought he did a remarkable job. I don't think that I even said one negative word about Cooper Rush when the regular season kicked off. All of my negative connotations for Cooper Rush happened before he even played a single down in the regular season. Right? And it was valid because when they cut him, 31 other teams passed up on him and they brought him back. And I did a Crow video, right, after his first win. But quite frankly, when Cooper Rush was under center for those stretch of games, the offense averaged 27th, 28th, and 29th amongst all of the 31 other teams. So somehow, one way or another, numbers could be very misguiding. Nevertheless, if I can say this, you guys can pretty much contextualize it for me. Justin Herbert is a whole lot better than Cooper Rush, right? Right? So I don't think that they will be ranked 27th, 28th, 29th. But if they are, woo, Law Nation is coming hard for those people who like to detract this situation. That's all I'm going to say with that. Nevertheless, let's listen to the rest of these guys and these conversations.
Their own sort of unique biases in there. But I think that Kellen Moore was definitely disrespected in terms of the production that he put up here.
And who would you say around that? We were I know you mentioned earlier when we were talking about this during one of the breaks, Doug Free is one that stands out for you. You got
Doug Free. All right, we got Miss Scouting Pro with the Super Chat Flames. I think they need to quantify Kellen's stats. Kellen diminished without his starting quarterback. Ooh. All right, but I feel you on that. Ooh, yeah, yes, indeed. Kyle Shanahan improved with his third-string quarterback. Shanahan's scheme never changed. Why? Because he actually had a scheme. Dracarys. And if you look back at what the 49ers were able to do, I mean, they fell on the sword. They thought that, hey, Brock Purdy can go into these playoff games unscathed, right? And one can argue that if they did a little bit more homework on Josh Johnson, they would have at least brought in like a Cam Newton. I think that Cam Newton would have probably brought more to the fight. Hell, they could have even brought back Colin Kaepernick. He would have put up more fight than Joshua Johnson, man. So you are known by your backup quarterback, and I can understand the reasons why they thought that Brock Purdy would be able to stand tall. But he got the type of injury on his elbow that is going to have to be reconstructed, right? So I don't even know Purdy will ever throw the ball again the same way. But we'll find out, man, down the line on how all of this could work its way out. Let's go. I think that when they talked about, disrespect amongst those that's in the DFW, Doug Free, I mean, let's be real. He was solid, but he wasn't, anyone that you can literally say, all right, man, Doug Free, that dude. Doug Free, literally. You go back and watch the plays that Tony Romo shattered his collarbone 2 times. It was a 68 in the proximity. That's all I'm saying. So if you're going to talk about being disrespected amongst people that's in the quote-unquote area of the DFW, you got to put Doug Free up there. He got to be disrespected because I think that disrespect is warranted. Not saying that he allegedly said, okay, here's a free path at the quarterback. But come on, man. For the Cowboys, hey, look, a lot of people got amnesia. I don't. I recall Doug Frey. Even though in that Eagles game, and I'm not saying that he's the reason why Tony Romo shattered his collarbone. But dog it, he's the dude that was on that play came off of his side. And the other guy, the Gronkowski brother, was in the Giants game. But Doug Free was the immediate tackle next to him. Like, come on. You can't let a free path on your quarterback. What's that Gronkowski brother name? I forgot his name. He was the one that didn't live up to the other Gronkowskis, He was on our team, y'all remember Doug Free? Yeah, so I think that was warranted, man. Doug Free sent Romo to the booth earlier than he wanted to. This is from Brad Surratt. Yeah. Kellen Moore offense ranked are sometimes fool goals. Yeah. 214. Appreciate you. Java says Sean and RJ are I ain't gonna say that, but I feel you, man. And this is either Sean. I don't know which one is RJ, but this is also Bobby Belt that's talking right now. Let's listen to the rest of this, and then we'll switch over.
He stands out for me, man. Like Doug Free stands out. Like he was a good.
Oh, Christopher Gronkowski. Okay, so he was the one that didn't live up to the Gronks. You know what I'm saying? It's Christopher Gronkowski. Okay, Chris Gronkowski. I think that he was a double agent. I think that he was rooting for the, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say that. But shout out to the Gronks, man. Yeah.
Good player. He was a good player. He wasn't great, but he was good. And he got here basically. He took over from Mark Colombo. And Colombo was a tremendous right tackle for this team for a long time, and he took over for him. And at the end of his career, at the end of Colombo's career, and listen, Doug Free was a good player. He took over. He took over for Flozell as well. He switched over sides and such, and he was kind of all over the map when they were.
Let's go. Hold on, let me see. NFL offensive ranking. View more. Y'all bear with me. Let me go right here. I'm looking for something right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And let me go off it. Submit. Okay. You know what? I get what people looking at. Let me see if I can pair this up with everything. In 2018, the Cowboys finished ranked right around the 12th or the 13th ranked offense, right? The Cowboys won a playoff game in that year in 2018. I know it can be convoluted because of the fact that in that year we decided to go wide receiver by committee. We started off 3-5. And then after they made the decision, hear me out. After they made the decision to get Amari Cooper, the Cowboys offense went from the 13th, 14th rank down to the top, hear me out, top 5 offense in the National Football League. Was Kellen Moore the offensive coordinator in 2018? I need to see. Was he the offensive coordinator in 2018? He wasn't. He got his job as the OC in 2019. One can project that if they finish the season off in 2018 upwards because they went and got the wide receiver, shouldn't that be the case in the scenario? That if you add more weapons around the quarterback, that your quarterback will increase his production? And so many people fight me. And shout out to my guy Swayze. He was fighting me on the on Instagram about that, right? And I said they pay quarterbacks based off of the stat records, not by the wins and losses. Unfortunately, that's all the agent got. He don't have the win and loss as a indicator whether or not you paid the said quarterback. And I'm gonna pull up Dak Prescott's stats in 2018 and 19, and we're gonna see what happened. Love Dak, but him and Moore prove they were not ready against the San Francisco again. Something had to change. You right. I'm gonna give you a Dracarys for that one. You right. You are flaming hot right on that one. So when we go here and we go pull up Dak Prescott and we go look at things before the big money, we go all the way down here to 18. He threw for 3,885 yards, 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions out of 526 attempts. That's 2018. And then we move over to 2019. He threw for 4,901 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. You should have a top 5 offense when you do that. But would you prefer to have the results of 2018 or the results of 2019? Can y'all put that in the chat? Let me know. I think you would prefer to have the results of 2018. But during this process, let me tell you a good quick story time for your mind. During this process, people were saying, hey, he's only doing this because of the running back. He's only doing these numbers because of the wide receiver. He can't do it without the wide receiver. Oh, the Cowboys are only getting these numbers. This is before garbage time stats came about. They wasn't preaching garbage time stats because the Cowboys finished this year 8-8. They started saying garbage time stats in 2020. That's when the argument came because we started putting up gaudy numbers when the game was pretty much over with, but it was within a score. Normally, garbage time doesn't exist when you within 1 point or such, but that's a whole nother storyline. And They finally paid him this year of 2020 due to sympathy pay. They sympathized. It was a lot of sympathy because they felt like the media felt like, hey, how dare you allow a quarterback to go all of those years, right, for this team, putting the team on his back, and he got his bones busting through his skin. It was right here in Texas, right, Arlington. And the emotions ran high, and they said, damn, we should never franchise tag that man. And they went on ahead with the negotiations. And a third of the people turned, more and more people turned on him. 2021, the expectations of coming back from all of those things, a lot of people were saying, hey, they shouldn't have paid him the money. It began to talk about the money in 2021, and now we hear 2022. He can't get it done. They should never paid him. The only opportunity for the Cowboys to escape from the Dak Prescott situation was 2018. After he won his playoff game, they could have put it up in real big billboards and said, hey, we're getting rid of this quarterback. We like what we've seen from him, but it wasn't enough. We want 2 first-round draft picks. That's how shrewd teams would work, right? Smart business teams have to do it that way. But you don't go into 2019. You don't go into 2019 and said, hey, we provided all of the weapons for you. No, you should have provided more and more. You should have provided more and more weapons. But 2019 was the year, hey, Jason Garrett, his back against the wall. Do you fire or do you keep him? Can Dak Prescott get us over the hump? He the one lost that game against the L.A. Rams. He was a better quarterback. All offseason they talked about that. Don't you know if the Cowboys were to just say, hey, they're going to go all in, who was the opposite wide receiver outside of Michael Gallup to Amari Cooper? 2019. Who was the other wide receiver? I want y'all to say it. Zeke stays, you go. Yeah. Cedric Wilson. Randall Cobb. There we go. I love y'all so much, man. And Randall Cobb was considered a what before he came here? What was Randall Cobb considered? Can y'all put that down in the chat? Terrence Williams, okay. Did we go all in? You see, the inverse happened. He was considered washed. Oh, I love y'all so much, man. And the inverse, the Eagles did the exact inverse. This was a contract year for Jalen Hurts. And what they said, you know what? Shoot, it's time to strike now. And to be honest with you guys, they were not left off the hook for paying Carson Wentz. They still had to pay the dead money. So when I go up here and I tell you guys that when we point out these things, the teams that's in the red, there's since I put down here, this was 2022. Since the cap is a major concern for many teams, I was told, according to the NFL cap rules, that all teams must stay under the cap at all times, and especially for the start of the new season. They must be under the cap. So what are the penalties of the teams being over, right? Or under the cap? I meant to say, technically they'd be over the cap. What would be the penalty? There's none. There was no penalty for the Saints. There was no penalty for the Giants last season. There was no penalty for the Vikings. There were no penalties for the Buccaneers nor the Chiefs. None. Chiefs in the doggone Super Bowl now. They was over the cap last season around this time. And they still hauled off and paid Chris Jones. They paid Chris Jones a magnum contract. Mega, I meant to say. Mega contract. Didn't bat an eye. They paid that brother overnight. And we was like, wait a minute, what's going on? You mean to tell me they can pay him, Travis Kelce? They paid that man. The quarterback getting paid $500 million. And we still talked about the money. We still talking about the money, man. Let me see. Now I got to go dig up my other tweet. Let me pull this one up. I got to go all the way down. So many people will fight me over this. So many people fight me over this all the time. Where it is right here. We literally had more money in the kitty, as they say. And I tell people all the time, franchise tags are for losers. When you utilize the franchise tag, there's no negotiation to that money. You can't prorate that money. You can't slide it over. You can't move it over. So that $22 million, 10 of that went to Dalton Schultz. The other pieces of the pie, over $60 million when you sign him for a contract for Michael Gallup. That went to Michael Gallup. And the other splits was happening to Dorrance Armstrong. And to free up some money, they extended DeMarcus Lawrence and kicked some of that money down the street. And that's where we at now. Let me see if I can pull up where we at now. But I've seen teams say, you know what? We're going to bring in an AJ. We're going to bring in Bradbury. We're going to bring in Hassan Reddick. We're going to bring – man, they brought in so many people, man. I'm sitting like, wait a minute, what kind of books he's doing over there? And this is not me complaining. This is me explaining. And shout out to their organization for doing such. Let me make it pretty for y'all a little bit. This is over the cap.com. So here are we at right now. We are, the Dallas Cowboys are down here at the bottom, as you guys can see, close to $7 million over. Now, the Cowboys' money, far as the salary cap, they got to get beyond the $7 million. Now, there are some accelerators, meaning that you can literally extend Jordan Lewis for another year, pay him his money up front for 5, and extend him, and that $7 million goes just like that. Just to keep Jordan Lewis for another year, because, or you can cut Jordan Lewis and you can save $5 million. And I'm just using Jordan Lewis as a person that you can play around with the salary cap, because the name of the game is you got to get pretty much from up under $7 million. But the cap space is going to jump up. Can somebody put that number in the chat for your boy? Is it $224 million? And I know that these numbers are pretty much maybe a week off from the NFL. If you cut Lewis, we free up $4 million of the cap, right? So that's $4 million. Who else we need to get rid of? Prune some of the other edges, and you create more and more space, and sign them right back. That's 16 plus million more than last year, y'all. So that's equivalent to having a $16 million boost. I only need $1 million of that. This is Scorpio. It's ridiculous. It's flat out ridiculous. But now we are in that threshold. Hey, man, we got to pay Terrence. We got to pay. And I'm talking about still. But watch. Lo and behold, I told y'all, You're not going to hear one word from the Saints. They owe $60 million. The Buccaneers owe $55 million. The Titans, 23. The Vikings, 23. Jaguars, 22. Chargers, $20 million. The Bills, $19 million. Packers, $16 million. The Dolphins, $16 million. Y'all seen what the Dolphins did last year on all of the picks and moves that they made in free agency. Oh, the Browns, $14 million. The Rams, $14 million. I want you guys to see that. Let me see if I can bring this list up one more time. You won't hear a word from the GM for the Saints, Buccaneers, Titans, Vikings, Jaguars, Chargers, Bills, Packers, Dolphins, Browns, Rams, Panthers. But you're going to hear every coin is counted for the Cowboys. And watch in these free agencies how much they going to get around and scat and move this and move that, subtract that and move that. Watch. And we're going to be sitting on our ASSs talking about, hey, we got to pay these guys, man. And it's hard. It's a hard cap league. We got to figure out which one of these guys are worthy. And they already sprinkling the hate in the all of the vicious talk to Trayvon Diggs. I had a guy that commented under my post earlier saying, hey, man, we got to figure out how to pay Tyler Smith and Michael Parsons. I'm sitting there like, hold on, man. You worry about the now. The name of the game is the now. Or you can look pretty. You can look pretty on saying that, hey, I got a lot of money left in free agency. I got a lot of money left in the cap. And you'll have a lot of room on the couch. You got a lot of room on a yacht. You got a lot of room watching in the big old stadium of other teams going to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, man, if you guys don't listen to anything else I say, look up the parable about the man and the talent, right? And what he did. Oh, I'm going to just take mine and dig it in a hole. And next year, hey, I'm going to be ready to capitalize off of it. You know what I mean? I know it's going to bring some revenue for me, some remunerations for me. If I just save this money and store it and not give it to the exchangers. Shoot. You be sitting there waiting like, hey, man, I got all of these coins. And the money that you saved for, you already trashing the guy about it. You trashing the guy. Diggs can't hit. That's why if y'all go to my Instagram post, if y'all go to my Facebook page, if you go to my Twitter page, you will see Deion Primetime Sanders for the Atlanta Falcons. I guarantee you that probably an Atlanta fan say, yeah, Deion is good, but he can't tackle, man. He's fumbling the ball. He's washed, man. He's overused, man. Let's see if we can get something out of him. No, we can't. Man, send him off to the San Francisco. And pay Parsons before his contract year because you can't afford to let him go. Yeah, you can't afford. You can't wait till it's too late. That's in any contract, universally. You wait till it's too late, there's so many things that's going to happen. What's up with MVP Aaron Rodgers 2021? Playoff stats against the 49ers defense. What was Jalen Hurts' stats against the 49ers defense this season? By the way, Jalen Hurts is going to the Super Bowl without a postseason touchdown. Oh my. He is? I know he ran one in, right? he ran a touchdown in, right? But those are things people don't want to hear. Just last year, or the year before that, not a person will be uttering, hey, man, I'll take Jalen Hurts over Dak. But now, since you look at what's happening now, hey, man, I'll take Jalen Hurts in a heartbeat from Cowboy fans. But they're not looking at Jalen Hurts in isolations of only throwing it to Noah Brown, a guy coming off of an MCL tear, without a number one defense in the national number two, I think. What was their defense? Let me see what their defense ranked. Let me see. Eagles, I think they were number two. Let me see what they were ranked. Yeah. They're not looking at it as a third-ranked defense. Right? They're not looking at it from that prism. They're going to look at it like, hey, man, they do the Super Bowl, man. Shoot, Cowboys in the last 28 years, I don't even know what that looked like. Shoot, Law probably didn't have facial hair, man, when the last time they was in the Super Bowl. Right? Y'all need to be worried about y'all. Fly, Eagles, fly. And that's the reality of it. The Eagles didn't bat an eye when it was time to pay Carson Wentz. They didn't even bat an eye. They were like, okay, pay this man. When it was time, and people fail to realize, Goff and Wentz, first-round draft picks, those boys were making $20 million. $20 million for their contract, for their rookie's contract. While the Cowboys quarterback was literally making Rico Gathers money. And people were saying, hey, the quarterback should take a pay cut when everybody is a Ryan Shazier hit away. Take the pay cut. I'm sitting there like, dude, he's already taken the pay cut. On top of that, when it was time for those other organizations and franchise to pay Goff and Wentz, they didn't even bat an eye. So on top of that, they got paid twine before the quarterback for this team got paid 1 red cent of his contract, as far as the big numbers. And I'm not sitting here saying that the Cowboys did a horrid thing, but one thing that you should do is not put that out there. The levels of, hey, I really don't trust you, but I got you type of situation. And now you have clauses on the contract. If they went on ahead and paid them early, and we're talking about the money because we can understand the bigger picture with this free agency. If you went on ahead and paid them early, you would have been at $32 million. You would have been probably at $28 to $32 million, or a little bit of that. And there would have been no trade clause in the contract. You would have already paid the man. And then if he wetted the bed, then you can do things like you see what I'm saying? The Rams did. Oh, we don't like you, man. We trade you off. Or you can do things like the 49ers, what the Eagles did. Oh, man, we could trade you off now and get multiple things in return. But when you start arguing the money back and forth, not just, hear me out, not just the Cowboys see this, other free agencies see these things going on, right? And other free agencies, like players, like, hey man, why should I go to Dallas? You know, you can't be banging on the table where there's no income taxes in the state of Texas. But I'm gonna tell you, you buy a property here, shoot, they're gonna get that money back. Shoot. You gonna pay. Yeah, you gonna pay regardless. IRS, you ain't skipping on them. FBI, open up! You gonna get it one way or another. That's just an illusion. Oh man, there's no state income taxes in Texas. They gonna tax you. Soon as you turn that car on, you on George Bush Freeway, hey, Turnpike, George Bush, they gonna get you, property tax. And I'm not even talking about ISDs, independent school districts. Shoo! You think those boys got Look, these boys around here got football graded pad levels, man, at their games. I mean, stadiums looking like a football field for the National Football League. Where they get it from? How they get it? Yeah, they're ISDs, those independent school districts. They're going to come, regardless of whether or not you LeBron James, CD Lamb, man, they gonna tax you. I was like, shoot. When I was over here, man, I was sitting there looking at my check. I said, man, I'd rather pay those state income taxes, man. Send me back to Mississippi, man. I mean, I said, man, these fools go. They getting that money, man. They hoodwink me, Send me back to Mississippi. Texas taxing, baby. George Washington. Yes, indeed, man. All right, man. I didn't talk to y'all enough, man. But y'all get what I'm saying. Now, let's play this right quick, because really you got to do this before you really look into the draft. And this is what I'm talking about, the free agency. You really got to do this first. You really got to do this first. And we can look at it. What's our number one need out of these free agency? Can y'all put that position group in the title or in the chat? And that way we can look at this together. Because I can look at, let's go. Wide receiver, right? I'm seeing y'all putting wide receivers in. Let's go look at these wide receivers. Where are you? Boom. Update. All right. You got, and they got an age. I love what Spot Rack do right here. Nelson Aguilar. Hey, man, I ain't going to even lie, man.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
All right, Sterling Shepard. He's 29 years of age. He's going to cost about $10 million. If that's something you guys be willing to look at. We got DJ Chark. He's 26. Randall Cobb, he's 32. I think DJ probably be the best one. Julio, baby, he's 33.9. He's going to be 34. I'm going to read y'all comments too over here, man, while I'm looking at this, man. This list right here. Jacoby Myers, Alan Lazard, Miko Hardman. Let me see where he at. Is he a free agent? Jarvis Landry. I didn't know Jarvis, he's still 30. Okay, I thought he was 32, 33. N'Keal Harry. They got Miko Hardman. He's only 24? Let me see what his market value is. We're going to pull up Miko right quick. Can y'all see that? He's $11 million. APY, that ain't bad at all. You can get him a real. He'll be in the range of Curtis Samuel, Russell Gage, DJ. Y'all, yeah. Look, Miko will be that dude. He's 24. All right, so I'm seeing some people saying, oh, wrong one. Here we go. Y'all seeing some people saying Odell Beckham Jr. I don't even see him here. Let me go by age. I know he's Matthew Slater. He's still available, 37. AJ Green, 34. Julio, 33. How old is Odell Beckham? Where he at? He got to be somewhere in the 30s over here. I don't see him. They don't have him over here listed. Absolutely not Odell. Who's the sleeper out of all of this, man? We can go by Juju Smith-Schuster. He got the most yards out of this list. He had 933 yards. His market value would be $14.6 million. That's a cup of coffee, right? APY. Too much. Jacoby Myers, I see y'all. I keep getting this one. Do it this way. Bam. Jarvis Landry. He's the guy. Jarvis Landry. They don't have his APY. So he's 30. He only had 272 yards this past season. That's a drop-off, y'all. What kind of injury he had? I think that the person that's on this list the most will be Allen Lazard. Let me see. They're pretty much paying him $3 million a year, $3.9 million a year. Let's see what he was looking at. 12 million 12.5. Let me see what we got here. Let me pull up my PFF on Allen. Lazard, baby. He got mad on his exit interview. All right, so he has legitimate third string wide receiver numbers. Yards per catch, he had 4 drops, 13.1. Who's better in your opinion, Allen Lazard or Noah Brown? Let me put up Noah Brown. Noah Brown. Noah Brown had this past season 555 yards, 3 touchdowns, 43 receptions. Allen had 60 receptions, 788 yards with 6 touchdowns. Yeah, that's what he had right here. That's Allen Lazard. You know what I mean? All right, so you will go into this situation with CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. He should be better than what he was last year. That reconstructions of his knee, he should be a whole lot fluid. And then you will have Allen Lazard, and then maybe you bring back T.Y. Hilton as that guy, and those will be your 4 wideouts right there, right? Juxtaposed to what we had last season. And this Noah Brown numbers, he had 70 targets for 43. And let me see how many targets. He had 98 targets for 60. So tried to keep T.Y. I think you can keep T.Y. For his short stay here. I don't think that he will have any revolt of not wanting to stay here. But in this particular free agency, my other look in this free agency would be defensive tackle. I need to find me a veteran interior guy that is not going to play around with his food. And that's where we should probably focus in on. Because even if you draft a guy, it's going to be somewhere in the first round or the second round, right? If you're trying to draft a guy in the 4th or the 5th round, you don't know what you're going to get. So if you're going to draft defensive tackle, you may have to draft them early. So let's look back at this list and look at the defensive tackles. You got literally Fletcher Cox. You got Javon Hargrave. I don't think that those 2 boys, depending on their situation, I don't think that they're going to leave Philly. I think Philly, Howie Roseman, and all of those boys are going to figure out ways to keep them. You got Dalvin Tomlinson. He's 28.9, so he's still right before you get to 30. And then you have David Onyemata. And he was a good dude over there in Saints, man. That dude's kind of hard to move, man. Let me see what his market value is. I like David. You get that big boy down there, man. What he do last season? He had 5 sacks from the interior, man. I'm pushing big body, can't stop me. 49-8, I gotta sell 1 million copies. Man, give me 5 sacks from the interior, man. Man, give me that. Hey, and this market value is there, you know. All right, so I don't think that anybody will complain about that. Payne is a sleeper. You think that they would let him go, though? Because I talked to my guy, Louis T, like, oh, hell no, we ain't letting Payne go. And he's younger. Ooh, give me Deron Payne. He's only 25. He's only 25. It felt like he's 30. Let me see what he would be. Man, if the Cowboys do that will solidify. Oh, that's why. Ooh, baby. I already know. That's a hell no. You know what I'm saying?
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
According to what? Stephen Jones would say. And Jerry gonna be fighting him, man. Jerry gonna be like,
"Get your damn act together."
You know. But old boy's cheaper, man. He's about $10 million cheaper, man. That's what they gonna go with. Go with him. If you gonna go with cheaper, man, go with this big dude right there, man. We gonna need to have somebody that know how to cook the books. That's the only way you can go get a Payne. Yeah, it's gonna be too painful for the Jones family, man. You know, it's gonna be too painful. All right, man. Who else on this? Jerry Tillery. Jerry Tillery. What did he do last year, man? Played 15 games, 448 snaps. He only had 1 sack. But Deron Payne had 12 of them, baby. 12 sacks from the interior. And Javon Hargrave, man, you know, the Eagles, man. God, dog, man. That dude had 11 sacks, too. Eagles, man, that's where they killing you at. And look at his, if the Eagles pull off paying this dude again, and look at his agent. He got Drew Rosenhaus as his agent. Ain't no way. If Howie Roseman can squeeze Drew Rosenhaus and they can pay this man $20 million, I know that there's some doggone loopholes if that happened. Ain't no way. If Howie Roseman can get this dude to sign and re-up again, man, it's going to be crazy. But this dude had 11 sacks from the interior, y'all. 11 sacks from the interior. And that is why when I tell you guys, Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, all of those boys working in conjunction with each other, and Sweat, when you got somebody from the interior doing this type of nasty work, sure it's hard, man. I ain't gonna even lie. I will be embarrassed to show you guys our interior guys' sack numbers. I will be flat out embarrassed. Matter of fact, he can split his 11 sacks amongst all of our guys in the interior, and it won't even equate to our guys. Our highest sack total from the interior is also with 4. I mean, you got to create pressure from the interior, man. Linval Joseph at 34, 35 years old. And they got Hassan Ridgeway. He only had 1 sack. That'll be the guy the Cowboys make a move on right there. Let me show y'all who we will make a move on. But Nito Jones, baby, you would bring him in or something like that, and it would be.
It's Mr. Nasty time.
Yeah, it would be one of those things, man. We'll be way down here.
Bruh.
The Cowboys. Hey, man, this what we would do, baby. The Cowboys bringing in Armand Watts from Chicago. He had 1 sack from the interior. His base pay was $672,000 last year, and I think that we could turn the corner with him. That's our list right there, man. We way at the bottom, man. Y'all know I ain't hating on my team, but I'm telling the truth. Benito Jones, baby boy. Thank you for tuning in to the Law Nation Film Session as we take a deeper look at Benito Jones. Oh, my gosh, man. That's just what it is, man. And that video would do more views than the back page story of somebody picking up Javon Hargrave to the, Denver Broncos or something, And I be hating it too, man. When we look at Anthony Rush, you know what I'm saying? It paid me watching Anthony Rush films, man. I watching Anthony Rush. I said, how big are you for be 365 with doggone baby feet? He 365, wear size 9. You know what I'm saying? He's sliding all over the field. He can stop the run a little bit, but on pass pro, man, shoot, he ain't nothing. Trade for Vita Vea. I think that's sad law, but it's the truth, man. I know y'all know I'm telling the truth. I said, man, he 365, man. He couldn't find him. Man, if I'm 365 pounds, God was like, man, I can't make you 365, law. Shoot, I'll be like Shaq out there. Laurent Robinson, McClain, etc., But, and Will McClay we trust, man. Will McClay got to bail us out, man. I got to figure. All right, so who's the other positional group we need to look at? Taco Charlton. All right, so we looked at D tackles. Man, I don't know how we will be able to pay for it, but Deron Payne, it will make my dream right now. All right, linebackers, cornerbacks. Y'all let me know who I need to look at. Cornerbacks. Okay, let's see. I see a lot of CBs. We're going to look at some cornerbacks right now, man. It hurts, though. It literally hurts. All right, let me look at the DBs, man. And we're going to look at all DBs, not just because I think that we so versatile at secondary. I'm not going to just put in cornerbacks. I'm going to put in secondary. And here's why, because I think that we have an issue as well with safety. So let's do secondary. And we go update. Okay. All right. I see somebody already, man. It's just making me just want to just flip the table over if we can get him, man. And that Jesse Bates, man. Let me pull up his market value right quick. Marcus Peters, man, he's cool and all. He's 30. I think that, it could be a situation that you bring him in for a cup of coffee, but not at that price. But let me pull up Jesse Bates, man. This right here giving me real good, make me feel good right here. He had 14 interceptions. Yeah, not 14 interceptions. He had four interceptions last year, $14 million. Do we have any validity to be able to get this dude? Because there were some opportunities that I've seen out there that we can really figure things out. My guy Sam says Payne ain't worth it, man. Come on, man. Let me get back over to you, man. Hold on. Come on, man. 12 sacks? 12 sacks? The last time we had a guy to have double-digit sacks from the interior was Jason Hatcher. I mean, Sam, we need to figure out a way, man. What would be the odds of Osa, Gallimore, Hankins getting those amount of sacks from the interior? What would be the odds, man? anything, man. Because all I'm thinking, and I was trying to tell the Eagles community that, yeah, that's cool what Hassan is doing because y'all got the interior pressure. Just close your eyes and imagine, man. What would Parsons do if we had a legitimate guy from the interior? Not just a run stuffer, because I like what Hankins can do in that category. Can you imagine Jonathan Hankins in pain in the interior? I think that Parsons will have 30 sacks, man. Come on, man. I'm not trying to dog our guys, man, but man, I think Parsons would eat. I think he would eat, man. Yeah. But let me get back over here. But Sam, he's my guy, man. Appreciate you, Sam, man. Much love to you. Man, I'll figure out a way, man. Rob the bank something, man, Jerry.
Thief! Stop! Thief! Come back, thief!
Man. Yeah, so James Brown, you're right. You know, Payne is nasty. Washington D-line is crazy, especially when they get Chase back. So that's how they leaning on that too. So they may try to franchise tag the dude. I don't know, you know, but I think that franchise tags are ways where you kill your organization and team. I think teams I think the NFL, they grew to a point that they should get rid of franchise tags, in my opinion. Just get rid of them. Get rid of franchise tags. All right. His contract is in the range of Derwin James, Minka Fitzpatrick, Justin Simmons, Marcus Williams. All right, let me look at somebody else on this DB list, y'all. All right, we got Jordan. He's free, but he's 31. He had 4 INTs. Jimmy Ward, that's my brother's team. He's been talking about Jimmy Ward left and right, man. Yeah, he's a gritty guy, but he's 3. He had 3. He's 31. So I'm looking for the age range about 25 to 30. And Bates fall right into that grouping. Not saying that a 30-year-old guy won't be able to do it. You know, I'm not saying that. Devin McCourty, he had 4 of them. You know, I didn't know that. But he's 35, 36. Or I'm ageist. You know, I can't be ageist over here. Age ain't nothing but a number. Adrian Amos. That would be a good little grid for us, bro. For real. He had 2 QB hits, 1 sack, 97 tackles. I love it. Y'all want physicality? That boy had 97 tackles for the season. Let me see what he did as far as his money. Yeah! We can find $6.8 million in somebody's couch. Come on, man. Penn State. Yes, sir. We can find $6.8 million, man. Stretch it around. Give him about, that's a 3-year deal, would be $20 million. Yeah, man. Give that man some money, man. Match him up. Give him the same deal. J-Ron Kurtz got 2-year length, $10 million. Justin Reed, yeah. Circle back, get Xavier Woods, right? Oh, I forgot about Dono. Oh, my God, man. Y'all charge it to my head. Let me see what – I bet you they did Dono wrong, man. Where he at? Where Wilson at? Let me see if I can go this way. What would his market value be? Let me see. Oh, they did him wrong. They don't have this man listed. They don't have Dono listed. Okay. Let's see. But while this page loading, I can tell y'all the truth though. I still would like Adrian Amos, you know. It page loading on Dono. It's just white. While that page is loading, they trying to calculate his information, man. No, the Woods. Wilson got to stay. Dono got to stay. And Dono is a guy. There you go. It's finally loaded. They was like, man, let me figure out how to calculate his stuff, man. It finally loaded. Here we go. Bam. All right. So y'all know my guy, Dono. He is a guy that the Cowboys should have entertained him last season. He had a 4-year deal for $2.6 million, which included a $127,000 signing bonus. His contract was guaranteed for $127,000. That was his guaranteed money. So they could have cut him, and he would have made that. So and I'm gonna tell y'all, man, he ain't really making that much money, man. I know $2 million stretched out over 4 years. People think that's a lot of money. But remember I was telling y'all about property taxes and ISDs, and then he got agent fees, man. That dude ain't really making that much money, man. I'm for real. His only guarantees were like $127,000. You know, some people that's a dentist's assistant making that money, doing that and Ubering on the side in Texas. And, you know, Texas property taxes, if they stand anywhere in Frisco or Allen, you know, up north somewhere, their property taxes, if they ain't bootlegging the thing, they going to pay about $12,000, man. And then you got to throw in the ISDs at $13,000. So, man, and that's properties that's ranging about $225,000. So, man, shoot, and those they're struggle homes, man, for $250,000, you know. So money, man, is funny in Texas. I'm telling y'all, man, telling y'all what I know. But neither here nor there. If I'm Dono, he looking for some paydays, man. He looking for a commitment. Should you circle around and give Dono what we gave J-Ron Curse? Is Dono getting J-Ron Curse money? Yup, Scorpio said Dallas ISD's taking 40% of that money. You ain't lying. Yes, indeed, man. I would say he's 25. He ain't 27, you know. Yeah, he's 25 years of age. Let me see what my guy, J-Ron Curse, got paid, man. I forgot. Let's see what he got paid so we can understand this. Because that should be the floor of his offer, right? So, and the Jones family, I think that they should have put a 3-year deal in there, but they gave him the 2. And I feel kind of froggy with the 2-year deals. I like 3-year deals. But here's the thing. They gave him a 2-year deal, and they gave Malik Hooker a 2-year deal. And J-Ron Curse signed a 2-year, $10 million deal. So, and that include, what was his guarantee? So only 5 of it. So they only guarantee half of his 2-year deal, right? They can cut him now and put the rest of his money on there, and they won't even feel none of that. So he really betted on himself, because they could eat $1 million, right, if they cut him, and save about $6 million or a cash value of 4 and 5. So I look at it like, you better not cut my guy J-Ron. I'll be mad. I'll be flipping tables around here. But do y'all think that this should be like the cap signing for my guy Donovan Wilson? Should he be around this price range? And I hate to talk about the man money, but that's the reality of it. Alan Lazard, how tall is Alan Lazard? I don't know. Let me see. Why don't give that man measurables? He tall enough. I don't know how tall. Contract transactions. All right, man. I'm still on defense. My bad. Anthony Brown on the streets too, y'all. Did you bring Anthony Brown back for a cup of coffee? He's a free agent. He signed a 3-year, $15 million. That's a very user-friendly contract, right? And you're paying the man about $3 or $4 million a year, basically. I mean, he's 6'2". Appreciate y'all. I thought he was 6'5", so he's 6'2". Appreciate y'all. Anthony Brown back, baby. I'm playing with y'all. All right, let me go back to the secondary. We can go all teams again. It's somebody else that we're missing out on this list. You got to solidify the free agency before you go into the draft. That's just how the rule works, right? James Bradbury, no. Jonathan Jones, he had 4 interceptions this season. And he's 29. Who do y'all think before we move on to our other category, linebackers? Who else y'all? He's 6'5"? Yeah, I thought he for sure. Yeah, I thought Alan Lazard was a tall guy. Yeah. Who y'all want me to look up now? Who we should go out here and grab? Who do I need to look at film analysis on? What if the Cowboys bring in Eli Apple? Eli. Ohio State, Eli Apple. Yes, indeed, man. No. Yeah, $11.6 million. Yeah, he going to be on the streets. He was talking a lot of cash money. That would be the bizarre thing ever. Eli Apple and Trayvon Diggs on the same team at the same time, you know. Hey, man, I feel you. Al Kareem said he is ass law. All right, what happened to P.J. Williams, man? How did he fall from grace, man? He had to be injured this year, huh? Trayvon Mullen, baby. I see him. Jabril Peppers. Who y'all think we should take a real good look at? Keep them on the streets. Boy, this DBs, man. There's a lot of them out here, man. Fuller. Where Fuller is at? Are you talking about Kyle Fuller? For the Baltimore. Let's see. The Fullers. I don't see him, dog. Oh, they don't go. They go by first name. That's weird. And they should go by last name. Should go by last name. So they don't go by last name. So it's impossible for me to find them unless I type it in. Darryl Worley's of the world. Let me go. Y'all bear with me. Byron Jones. He's 30. He had no interceptions. He's not going to give you a lot of interceptions. He only had 57 tackles. All right. And I don't know, man. Byron Jones probably fit well with this team, especially under Dan Quinn. I think he is a Dan Quinn style of DB. I'm not going to sell it on him. I think he will know the area. I think Byron Jones on one side, Diggs on the other. You keep Dayron Bland inside. That would be hellacious. I would love to see that. Because I think that Byron Jones, he fits well with the 3-4 scheme. He's a scheme fit. And you said Byron Murphy, like Eddie, right? Oh, he got the age range. Is he a free agent? He's not a free agent. He's active. You had to trade for him, right? And let me see. Last tape I saw on him was college. I didn't really play too much. So he got a sack. He had no interceptions. 2021, he had 4 interceptions. He's still young. I like Izzy. Izzy will be. Let me tell y'all the real truth, man. I think that Izzy. Hear my truths on Izzy. Diggs on one side, and hear me out. Don't shank me with the butter knife. if they go, let's see, let me use a hypothetical situation. Izzy on one, Diggs on one side, Bland inside the nickel. Your boy Hooker was the bridge for Izzy. Izzy will be your free. You're down inside the box guy would be Curse, or if they re-sign my guy Donovan Wilson and Byron Jones, that would be a hellacious secondary. I would like that secondary. I mean, where they gonna pick on? They're gonna pick on Trayvon Diggs, but let them do that. You remember they didn't really, when Byron Jones was playing at his best, nobody actually threw the ball his side. They were like, nah, he's always there. I would love that. Even though Byron Jones is like in his 30s, right? He just finna hit 30. But y'all let me know. They can still go into this draft and draft an actual DB, and all of this could be just hogwash talk. But y'all get what I'm saying, that I'm looking for a free agent first, and then you go into the draft knowing that, hey, you can maneuver some things around. Now, there's always another philosophy, whereas you can go – the Jones family did do this right. Right, you can't go for cheap before the draft, right? You don't want to spend up too much things after the draft, right? Well, here's my thought on it. You can be a little cheap before the draft on your free agent pickups. It's people that love the coaches, love the philosophy, love a change of scenery. You can go a little cheap, right? And then the draft hit, hear me out. A lot of teams will look at their roster and say, we no longer need this guy. He's 28, 29 years old. Then you see some of those veteran cuts to occur. And you can catch that second wave of the free agency after the draft. But the problem is, hear me out, because there will be teams that will fall in love with their draft picks and have high expectations, and they will cut the fat off from their team thinking that they got a good guy in the draft, and then he be washed or what have you, and then they're like, damn, and they try to pick him back up. But here's the problem. What the Jones family does, they wait till the third wave. The third wave is that wave of free agency like right after the second week of preseason, right? And then if you super cheap, the fourth wave of the free agency, there's a fourth wave of the free agency, believe it or not. The fourth wave of the free agency is after week 1. That's when you sign a player and none of their guaranteed money is guaranteed for the year. You see, so equivalency of the fourth wave of the free agency is a Sue, you know what I'm saying, someone like that, you know, of the free agency. It's a note to Ramsey. This is from Sonny Smith. I feel you on that. Resign Kelvin Joseph. Kelvin Joseph, man, let him be Kelvin Joseph, man. So those are the waves of the free agency. And My philosophy is this. Day one of the free agency, don't sign nobody. Sit back. You can sit back, play a little poker, right? Maybe on the first week of the free agency, don't sign nobody if you kind of like in the cap restriction mind. Let everybody go run to that doggone line, you know. Everybody run, you know, to get their free agent picks. But by the second and third week, that's when all of the hype is gone, and then you can sit back and pick through your guys. But what you can't do is not look at none of those guys. Go into the draft and then draft some guys and say, well, we got a Jalen Tolbert 2.0 that's going to save everything, right? You know, we got the Jonathan Ridgeways, you know, the worlds, right, that's going to solidify the interior. And then he can't make the team. Then you put him on the practice squad. And then the Washington team scoop him up. And now you wasted your draft pick. So that's just how that goes, y'all. Kevin Joseph is a special team guy. All right, for sake of time, let me hurry up and jump on the linebackers. I know I went long-winded on that, and we would dedicate a full show on free agent looks because I truly believe that this is fun. of looking at some of these guys. And then we'd look at offensive line another day. But y'all said linebackers, right? Just for kicks, man, hold on. Let me look at quarterbacks since y'all said quarterback. We need a quarterback, man. We need a quarterback. We got Tom Brady, baby. 45.4, man. Let's get Tom Brady on this team, y'all. Tom Brady. We got Baker Mayfield. Let me see what Tom Brady market value would be. Come on. $40 million. Oh, now you don't want to give us a discount, Tom? that would be right up Dallas. That would be right up Dallas Road. They'll pay that man $80 million. All his life he'd been given a discount, and they'll give him the $80 million at 45. Who want Tom Brady, man? In the chat, y'all let me know, man. Yeah, give me some thumb downs in the chat if you don't want Tom Brady. You know, I'm just playing with y'all. This is just me joking now. Don't take it serious now. Don't crucify me. They got Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Jimmy Garoppolo. Let me see what Jimmy market value is. Just put no in the chat. Don't do the thumb downs things, you know. I need all of the thumbs up you guys can give me. All right, let me go pull up Jimmy Garoppolo. 34.9. God dog, man. Yeah, I don't know about that one, man. All right, Jimmy Garoppolo. All right, you got real talk. You got Teddy Two Gloves, Bridgewater. Let me see how much Danny Jones will be. Just to see how much the Giants gonna set their franchise and organization back. Now I'm nosy. How much he gonna be? Ain't no way, dog. He want 45, I heard.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Ain't no way, man. Ain't no way. He gonna get 45, watch. And when they pay him 45, we gonna be like, yeah, baby. Watch, he gonna get 40 to 45. Y'all, how much money y'all think that Danny Jones gonna get, though? You know, Danny gonna get 40, 45. I think that's off. Well, real talk, man, what would be a good, y'all said Geno Smith. I didn't know that he was, you heard 30 to 40, Sonny? Okay. Geno. Let's see what Geno, God dang. God dang. Yeah, that's too much. That's a franchise quarterback money right there. Let's see what my guy Cooper Rush is, man. Cooper Rush, baby. They only have his market value out there. Shout out to the beard game, man. That's a nice beard. Remember I said, man, if Cooper Rush were to stay here and get us all the way to the playoff, I'll paint my beard red. But we didn't get a chance to see Cooper Rush do all of those things. So he's 30. He is, I think the Cowboys will re-sign Cooper Rush. It's going to be some. The Cowboys now, out of Frisco, Texas, signed Cooper Rush to a 3-year deal. The only thing, let me talk to y'all about this, though. And this is God honest truth. The only thing that I'm upset with the Cowboys with the Cooper Rush versus Dak Prescott is that Cooper Rush is not under contract. God dog, man. I wish that Cooper Rush was under contract. Why? Because if he was under contract, we can put him up for trade. We can get multiple things back. If y'all truly believe that Cooper Rush, that dude that can win 4 out of 5 games and he can take, we could literally leverage him and say, hey, Chargers, we want a 2nd and 3rd round draft pick for Cooper Rush. You never know when Justin Herbert may go down. And Cooper Rush in the last 2 years is 5-1. That's a beautiful resume. That's a beautiful picture you can paint up. But by him not being under contract, shoot, That's just crazy, man. We kind of reverse hustled that one. We would want it to paint the pretty picture so we can get something back in return. Somebody says Lamar Jackson. What y'all think his market value is, Lamar Jackson, before I get over there? What y'all think? Yeah, Cooper Rush is not under contract. He's a free agent. He was 5-1 in the last 2 years, though. I think that would have been high. What y'all think Lamar Jackson's 45, 50? Let's see. Boom. What? It's 40? Ain't no way, man. Ain't no way Geno and Lamar is in the same market. You know what I mean? Man, come on, man. Hey, man, come on, man. Boosie, where you at, man? Where you at, Boosie? Boosie, where you at?
Thief!
Not you.
Stop! Thief! Come back, thief!
No.
He needs some milk.
No, Boosie, where you at, man? Come on, man.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
You can get Geno Smith or Lamar Jackson pretty much for the same money, you know? All right, and, of course, I know for sure he ain't getting the 40 million. He ain't getting that. He get more than that. And they going to base his contract. And this is what hurts everybody. That Deshaun Watson got 46 APY. He's making more than Patrick, Joshua Allen. And then they said, all right, Kyler Murray, he done raped the game. No offense to anybody who been raped, but he raped. Let me use another word. I apologize if I offended anyone. By the way, don't counsel me. He done. What's a better word that I can use, y'all? Y'all put that word in there for me. He jacked up the game. Yeah, that's a better word. He jacked up the game, and now he said, "I will get that contract, but I want $1 million. I want 100,000 more." I want 100,000 more than what Deshaun Watson got. Yeah, he finessed. Yeah, that's the best way, officer. She appreciate you. Thank y'all, man. Don't cancel me now. Don't cancel me. I'm not using that word recklessly. I was speaking in the moment, and the coffee kicked in. So he done messed up the game, y'all. Deshaun Watson, man. Eastside Harold, man, he done messed up the game, man.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
The massages, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, my gosh, man. All right, well, Heineke. What about Heineke, baby? I didn't know Heineke was almost dog near 30. All right, let me see what Heineke is. You guys guess Heineke finagled the game. Usurped the game. Appreciate y'all. Y'all vocabulary is just on par, man. Let me see what Heineke. Let me see what Heineke is. Where my breaking news button at? Wow. Breaking news. Tyler Heineke, 19.8. That's too much money for backup, right? So he's a starting quarterback pay. That's 20 mil. Ain't no way. I would rather have Deron Payne at 20 million versus Tyler Heineke at 20. Right? Old Dominion. But y'all get it. You know, backup quarterbacks are expensive. And I don't want y'all to put down that Dak Prescott is a backup quarterback and that's an expensive quarterback pay. No, don't y'all do me like that. Andy Dalton, what was his? 14, 15? I think he's going to be 14, 15, right? Ooh, yeah, no, Andy! Andy Dufresne. But give me the interior pass rusher. Let me get out of here, man. I don't know why I got stuck in talking these doggone quarterbacks. Let me get all of these quarterbacks out the way. And we're going to look up linebackers and we're going to dip, right? I was going to open up the phone lines, but we will. I'm doing multiple shows today. I'm doing one with my guy, West Coast Cowboys today, and then we doing the final word today. if all stay the same. So we're going to look up these linebackers. I low-key hope that they got a market value out for a Leighton Vander Esch, but I doubt it. Levante David, 33 years of age, man. He had 3 sacks this season, 3 QB hits, 124 tackles. My goodness, what y'all think he would be on the open market? Ooh-wee. He long in the tooth. I will bring him in for a cup of coffee and say, hey, man, I need your presence, although you're 33. I would bring him in, get rid of Anthony Barr, and say, all right, hey, we just need your pedigree, David. You've been a thorn in our side for a few years, but last year we got your number now, man. I'll offer him a deal half of that. Just half of that. Interior linebacker Devin Bush is out there on the market. That should be, he's 24.5. He's still young, man. There's people still in college, man, at 24, trying to figure out what they want to major in, right? Let's see what Devin Bush is. Hell, yeah, bring him in for a cup of coffee. Half of that. I'll bring him in for 1.5. I'll bring him in for 1.5, half of that. I'll bring him in for that, 1.5. All right. For pedigree, too. He's only 24, finna be 25. I bet you they did us wrong, and they don't have LVE's market value out there, and we're going to have to fight for it. Yeah, they don't have his market value out there, y'all. They paid him $2 million last year. He's 26. Would y'all extend him? And what will his price range be? If you think about it. LVE, what would his price range be if you think about it? Two-year, $10 million. I heard we was talking about this kid. Tremaine Edmonds. He's young, man. He's only 24, finna be 25. If you're going to pay, look, and there's no shade, no hate at LVE. Would you prefer to go ahead and pay a little bit extra money to have Tremaine Edmonds on the team juxtaposed to an LVE? He had 1 sack. He had 102 tackles, 65 solos, 37 assisted tackles. That put him at 102 tackles. Yeah, 1 interception. Every year he give you 100 tackles. Let me see how many tackles LVE had last season. All right, he had 90 tackles, man. And, of course, he was injured. He played how many games? Let's see. Out of 746 snaps. The season before that, he had 663 snaps. And you're looking at Tremaine. This dude, This dude had, out of the same or similar snaps, he had 697 snaps. Gave you a little bit more production in that category. So, to reference this, LVE had more snaps. He had 746 snaps. 746 snaps, right? And Tremaine had more tackles than him with less snaps. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got to contextualize that too. And 763, let me see, 746 minus 692, you carried it. That's about 50, is that about 52? 53? 53, 54. How many? Y'all do the math. What's 746 minus 692? Is that 50 something? Just quick math. Somebody who got the calculator in your hand. Can y'all help a brother out with the math, man? It's about 50, 56, 55, something like that. Who got the math? 54. Joshua.
Dracarys.
That boy, he 54 snaps, so he give you more productions with less snaps. 54, that's about a game or such, right? Appreciate you, Chris. Lucky King. Y'all be on y'all math quizzes. Y'all good with that. Okay, so he had 54. I'm not sullying my guy, though. You know, Leighton Vander Esch, for what he was asked to do, he did a wonderful job for us. But we can look at this list and say, okay, who got the most tackles out of this list? There's a free agent, T.J. Edwards. I've been saying he's a tackling machine for the Eagles. He got 159 tackles. The Eagles don't like that dude because he missed tackles. I mean, because he can't cover. But he's the most tackling guy. And if you want to look at it from those aspects of it. So, I don't know, man. Quarterback hits. Lorenzo Carter, he's on that list. He's still in his good age range of 27. Who had the most sacks as a linebacker? And these 3-4 guys are all up here. Okay. But if I'm looking for a guy, I would probably bring in Devin Bush. He's 24. For a cup of coffee, I pay him half of what he's looking for, or at least put that in out there. I would look at a Tremaine Edmonds, just to be real with y'all. And who else off of this list that we're looking at? I'm looking for some dogs, man. I'm having Deion Jones. He up in here. They paid him way too much money. 14.5. That's too much money. But yeah, you guys get the whole picture, man. I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in for this episode. We will have more and more content later down the line. I thank y'all so much for being part of these type of conversational pieces. If I offended anyone, charge it to my head, not my heart. Y'all be sure to check out other content creators around this time. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the free agency is right around the corner. Ariz Al-Shai here. I will look him up, James. My brother been telling me about him for a long time. And he's been a silent assassin for the Niners. He's been. They're going to keep LVE. That's the thing that they're going to do. They might keep LVE. They might re-up Anthony Barr. But we do have a new linebackers coach. So some of that philosophy and principles may change. Maybe this new linebacker coach will bring forth Jabril Cox, Devin Harper. I like those two guys over there. Let's not leave out Damone Clark. Kaiser White, yeah, he was nice for the Eagles to pick him up. They picked him up for real cheap, too. So you can probably find linebackers. You just got to do your homework, right? It could be a final year for Luke Gifford. I don't know. I have to check it out. Let's continue to grind to shine, baby. Explain waivers on these days. Yeah, I'm going to explain those things. Because really, there's going to be a wave pretty much right after the Super Bowl. Remember what I said, there are going to be a lot of teams to try to get up under the cap area. This was from last year, of course. But there's going to be a lot of teams to try to get from up under the cap. And they're going to have to do some hard cuts. Bring your tablet, your helmet to the locker room, right? Or to the office. Turn those things in. Leave the tablets and stuff like that with us. Right. Type of conversation. Not everybody want to have those things. Yeah, Jeffrey Campbell, you with me, Campbell? Devin Bush, just bring them in for a cup of coffee. Like, hey, man, now the Steelers haven't used you correctly. We don't run a 3-4, but we run a hybrid look over here that you will fit right on in. That's the reality. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold all other things tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan for it, and lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength, and scarcity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold, poverty, or famish or fame, or sickness of your body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty, you all know you will get it. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go Pro Bowl, baby. That's all we got next, baby. Pro Bowl, and watch the Shriner Bowl, too. Don't sleep on that, ladies and gentlemen. Football never ends, it never sleeps. XFL, baby, and the Mexicano League. They got a Mexican league that's out now, so we may be tuning into that. The Law Nation Sports will be over there on that side of the world. Appreciate y'all. One love. DC for life, though. Something happened to my rolling of the credits. That's okay. It reminds me of life itself. Things sometimes don't happen the way you want it. Things don't work out the way you desire. But the world doesn't mind at all. It continue to spin. It continue to twist and turn. And my credits are not working no more. And maybe they said, you know what, the Cowboys out, we gonna take out. Maybe that's the situation. Maybe that's what's going on, man. Man, my credits need to be working though. I want to see some credits up there. But I thank all of those who donated and supported this channel. I don't know why my credit's not working. Credit cards, man, come on, y'all work. Oh well. DC for life, man. Ashanique Wapuki, Ray Ray, thank y'all. Salute. USFL, appreciate them too. need to figure out what my credit's
I've
not
been
working.
really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal.
I'm in the back office trying to fix my credit, so appreciate y'all. Listen to this while I try to fix it. Come on.
Count that too, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Revan now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately,
Yeah, you can't stop a tank with no key. All right, so that's working. Universal God, Jennifer Lopez, thank you.
Count that too, count it up, count it up,
All right.
count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah, I just be off the dome. I never own no chrome. Too many foes and clothes.
Oh, Johnny Lopez, my bad, not Jennifer.
I be at home alone.
All right, so that worked.
I
be on roll along.
I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
One love, baby. We up out. Appreciate y'all.
Lately, I just
DC for life.
Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender.